Thank you, Gilbert. Let's give Gilbert a hand. Thank you. Beautiful. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This is a good morning, a beautiful morning here in Cleveland. The sun is shining, no rain, no snow. So it is really a great day here at Miracle Center for Spiritual Living, 2653 South Taylor Road in the beautiful Cleveland Heights, Ohio. I greet you in peace, love, and joy. And as our policy is, the old folks say you put God first, I invite you to join me in the invocation, magnifying the presence of Spirit in this morning's service. As I recognize that there is but one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, that life is whole, that life is complete. That life is my life now, and the life of each one within the sound of my voice, the life of those on Zoom, the life of every living entity in this universe. From the smallest insect to the largest mammal, the elephant, it's God, that living spirit, that motion of peace and love and joy. So as we identify with the Spirit this morning, consciously identify with the Spirit this morning, we identify with all that God is. And in this morning's service, we magnify the presence of Spirit through every word, through every action, through every reaction, through everything that takes place in this morning's service. It's God ordained. This is God's place. This is God's house. This is God's expression of peace, love, and joy. So as we accept that to be the truth, as we embody ourselves in this truth, I decree that this morning's service is a spiritual experience. And without question, without doubt, is in divine order. And if you're in agreement with the words spoken, simply affirm with me. And so it is. So I let it be. Amen. 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 Moving back to our program, our affirmation for today, for this week really, there is one ultimate reality, but within this one are many experiences. Man is within the one and draws from it all the experiences. Let us repeat that together, please. There is one ultimate reality, but within this one are many experiences. Man is within the one and draws from it all his experiences. We kind of talked about that this morning in Bible class. Very interesting. There is but one mind. Our science of mind point of view, the spirit of man, which is in his self-knowingness, is the only part of him which has volition or self-choice. All else acts as automatic law. Man's conscious thought, acting through law, may change any condition in his experience, provided he can clearly conceive of such conditions being changed. There is no limit to the law. Limitation is not the inherent in the law, but is a result of man's inability to embody the truth and constructively use the law. Man has at his disposal, and what he calls his subjective mind, a power that is limitless. Let me read that again. Man has at his disposal, and which he calls his subjective mind, a power that is limitless. This is because he is one with the whole on the subjective side of life. And that's from the Science of Mind textbook, page 133. And now, before I introduce our wonderful, illustrious minister, we have some music going on. Chris, take it away, please. And now, all of that beautiful, beautiful musical, I guess I'll call it.
Yes.
We have our wonderful minister in the form of Reverend June. Thank you, Fran.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So glad to see you all this morning on this beautiful day, as Fran mentioned. We just take them as we get them in Ohio, here in Cleveland. I tell you, some folks don't have the beautiful weather patterns that we do, but here we are. So good morning, everyone. And how are you all today? Good, 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 good. So we're going to move into this this focus this morning, which is on man, M-A-N, man being, woman, woman, man being the generic statement, the overall examination of the humanness of us. So I'm going to delve into what Fran has read and some more examples of just our beingness as it relates to the entire system, to the entire world. The focus for Science of Mind actually this month relates itself to the allness and the oneness of nature and of God within us as our environment, which includes the animals, which includes the plants, which of course includes us, and most of all, our relationship to those very things, the animals and the world, and it's our nature within the nature. So next week, I'll talk a little bit more about that, but this week, I was led along a different path, and that was to just talk about us. Talk about us and our beingness today, us and our relationships to ourselves, us as relationships to our church, just in general talking about us. So I'm going to start with the Science of Mind point of view, which is in your bulletin, and I'm going to expand what is in the bulletin. And if you have your textbook, I get a little crowded up here, so I'm trying not to make noise. On page 400, point 400. So it's page 400, and then it will be the fourth paragraph. Okay. So the Fran read the objective mind within the writing here, the objective mind. The spirit of man, which is his self-knowingness, is the only part of him which has volition or self-choice. All else acts as automatic law. Automatic law. So the word that I want to begin with is actually volition. And volition means move. We have the urge, we have the ability, we have the mental state of mind, we have anything that we need in order to move. Sometimes we think life is, what should I say? I hate to use some of these regular terms. We think that life is complete, especially when something happens that is negative, we think, oh my goodness, this is it. I'm here. This is the now. This is go on forever and ever, and it's not going to get better. On the other hand, I personally feel, and maybe it's my own choice, that when things are good, oh, this is great. I'm going to have this money forever. I'm not going to have any bills forever. I just paid off all my bills, and I'm going to have this forever. They're really equal or equivalent or the same, actually, because nothing stands still. But if we didn't have the volition, the willingness to get up off our do-not stool and live life as it is, we would never get anywhere. We would never experience the movement of joy to sorrow, or sorrow to happiness and joy. And so, some might say, well, it's great that we don't experience any unhappiness or anything that's going on in this world, but it's a little, no, it's not a little, it's a lot out of balance. It's a lot out of balance. And here on page 400, the fourth paragraph, it talks about the objective mind, which is the mind that we each have, which creates us to think and move forward. The objective mind alone may consciously decide what is to happen. What is to happen? All subjective decisions are merely conclusions built on already accepted premise. Already accepted premise. Which means it's already in your mind. And again, I find, and I think some of you might find with me, that it is very easy to think about things in terms of, I knew that all along. I knew that was going to happen. I accepted that as my good, and it happened. So, life is good. Then when something comes along that is also life expressing itself, that appears to be totally unacceptable in your experience, it isn't, because it doesn't work that way. It comes from the within of us to the outer of us. And I know that maybe I'm saying it wrong. I know that it is the truth of who and what we are. Everything that happens is preordained, is pre-known, I don't know if that's a word, is already in our experience and in our thought pattern. Because what amount of thing are we? We're one thing. We're God expressing itself. And since we are simply, I say simply because it's easy, we make it hard as heck, but simply God is all there is. Therefore, whatever comes into your experience, it's God expressing through you what you already think, what you already know, and what you already do. That is not easy to accept. I know. And if I know, you know somewhere in your heart, somewhere in your being, that that is your truth. I'm not going to press it, but you consider you can't do anything that is not God ordained. And since you are one expression of God, you are ordaining anything that happens in your life to come into being, and it is God expressing in you, as you, through you. The conscious mind may change these thought patterns and thereby cause a different flow of energy and intelligence toward the objective of its desire. What does that mean? We think a thought and we know we're clear. Somehow, we look at that thought, we rethink it, we mull it around in our mind, and we unthink the positive thought that we had. I'm just telling you what is the truth. I know it's difficult to believe that anything that pops up in your life that is not joy and frivolous and happy, you caused it. But you did. I did. We all did. The nation did. Everybody, every country, every being in every place did. It's not saying that we are special in any way. It's just what it is. And it's not necessarily that you sit down and you write down, and maybe it would work if you write down everything that's good that is going on in your life, that it's going to always be positive. And it's not that you can write down every negative thing in your life and you think it's never going to change. You see, the two are the same. They are the same. They have a different outlook, but they are the same, because basically you must control your own destiny. You must control your own life by knowing that all there is in God. God makes no mistakes. So how can you make a mistake? If you continue to focus upon the negative, it's not a positive thing to do. If you continue to focus upon the positive, it's not a positive thing to do, because you can lose the perspective of the whole picture by dwelling in one and not recognizing the other. So if you want to look this up on page 400, I'm going to continue here on page 401. The Spirit alone has the power of real self-expression and true volition. That is why we call the conscious part of mind the spirit of man, the conscious mind of the universe, the spirit of God. It's all, it's like putting everything in a, I don't even want to use the word basket. I want to use something beautiful. For just the imagination. If you look at a rose that is in bloom, it's a rose, but it is made of individualized petals. Some pink at the end and dark in the middle. Some maybe, I've seen them even white on the inside, and then a dark red rose shade up across the top of a petal. It's not just a rose. It's the petal that creates the imagery of the rose. So in our lives, we must be aware of the multiplicity and the totality of the experience of God in our lives. Yes, it's positive. Yes, it appears positive. Yes, it's negative. Yes, it appears negative. It's what we do with what our minds bring into our lives every single moment. You gotta face the fact that we create our own life. not Janie Popo over there, or husband over there, or partner over there, or child over there. It's us. We create our own beingness. And the multiplicity of God is limitless. So therefore, if you are wavering between many worlds, many choices, it's a good thing, because you have the sense to realize that you are not stuck in one area, one aspect of your life. Because if you're as old as you are, and the number of people in this room, I always have to point to Chris being younger than the rest of us, which he is, but he too has his span of years. We have a span of years that vary. But I bet that if we all sat in a circle in humble awareness, not listening to ourselves, but listening to each other, we will hear our own story. We will hear so and so and so and so. And if you're not listening to yourself in a way that you're thinking what they're thinking is just their story, then you got to open into that rose, and you have to realize, that's the same thing that happened to me. Not pictured the same way, but we all live the same life because we are all experiencing God in the same way. And it is all positive, it is all good, it is all the oneness of the Christ, of Jesus, of Buddha. Any word that you use for God, that is what is expressing through you and is developing your life and your volition to move forward within whatever that life is. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Don't feel overly, what do we say? I don't want to say joyful, because it's good to be joyful. And I always sign my information that I send to someone that's personal. I say in harmony. And I mean, I'm in harmony with the universe. I'm in harmony with you, because we're all the same. So don't feel braggadocious because your life is unfolding exactly the way you want it, except for the side stuff, except for the negative stuff. So I don't want to get myself in a trap here, because I want you to know the perfection, the happiness, the joy, the prosperity is you. And when something comes that is difficult to deal with, that is not the exact picture of harmony and joy and love, it's still God expressing. It's just your interpretation of what is going on in your life at that moment. So embrace God. I'm going to move down to man. Man never creates. He discovers and uses. And that's what I was talking about. Man, humanness, discovers and uses. And again, the age that you are, what is still stuck in your mind that is insisting that you don't get it, that is so negative that you just cannot accept the fact that it can be positive. And if you don't have anything like that in your life, it's wonderful. But most of us have stuff in our lives that is kind of like my sister, Reverend Leora, my sister, and I were talking one day about something, and three-legged stool came up. You can't exist and sit down and be comfortable on a three-legged stool because it's not balanced. It is not balanced. Your life is not balanced. If you can see that there is something missing that you have not dealt with, that part of the stool, you are doing wonderful. If that stool has been there for 20 years, you got a little work to do. If it's been there for a day, oh, that's a breeze. I guarantee you just dismiss it like that because your preference is, I hope, your preference is to live as an excited, as a warm, as a loving, as a positive, as a prosperous, as a healthy, as a whole human being, not a three-legged stool. Let the junk, which is, excuse me, God, but which is God, because there's only one thing going on here, but there's an interpretation that some of it's junk. Let it go. It's not serving you. Let it go. Look at the positive side of life. Man never creates, he discovers and uses. He uses the goodness and the graciousness of God. Fill my cup. Fill my cup with what? With prosperity and health and joy and positive outlook. This too shall pass. Wonderful. Or with bitter fruit or bitter tea or anything that is a negative taste to your wholeness. Fill my cup and live from that cup and sit on that stool and sit up straight. And when something from the other way comes along, you've got the strength and the knowingness of your God self to deal with it in a manner which is appropriate to a person who lives. I was thinking about a friend who passed away, Reverend David Spears, who was here once, and I don't know why his voice came to my ear on the way here, and he used to say, walk in balance, walk in peace. Why do we not thrive in balance? Why do we not thrive in peace? I don't know. I don't have the answer. Man discovers also his abilities. And page 401, third paragraph, the textbook references we must consciously know that we can use creative power. That's what I was talking about. The more complete such acceptance on our part, the more completely we shall be able to use this power for definite purposes. Definite purposes. How much time is wasted on things that are not definite purposes? I know mine, and I'm expanding on focusing on those things that I can assist with adding to my positivity of my life. Not sure if positivity is a word either, but it sounds good and it feels good. To be positive about everything that is going on in your life. You remember, you ever play the game? See, this stuff just keeps popping up in my head. Baby steps? No? You never played baby steps? With a stone and the teacher, the mother being up like at the back of the wall, and there's a group of us standing in a row across, and one person gets to throw the stone, and but first you got to ask, Mother, may I? That's the name of it, Mother, may I? Yeah, I see a couple heads shaking. Mother, may I? And mother decides how many steps you can take. And mother will let you know whether you can take giant steps, or whether you can take baby steps, or whether you can take, I forget what the middle one is, but I know there's a middle one. And you stand there with your stone in your hand, and you hope that she says giant steps, because you're working toward knocking mother out the way and taking over that spot. And then she'll say, you say, Mother, may I take giant steps? And mother, no. Mother, may I take baby steps? Yes. So you toss this little thing and you go up there. No, that's not the logic. That's not the logic. You just take the steps. The next person to you asks, Mother, may I? And mother says, yes, you may. And the person asks, Mother, may I take giant steps? And sure enough, they get to take giant steps. And you stand there and you decide that mother is just unfair to you, and that she doesn't like you and she likes that other one better, or he, whoever's playing mother. And do we not do that in our lives? Do we? I don't know where that came from. That's what I'm talking about. We got it all up there and through our bodies, and this stuff comes up. Listen to it. Accept it for what it is, and know that we're in control. We're the mother, we're the stone. Oh, we don't have a stone in this game. Sorry, I made a mistake. You're the mother, you're the person who is asking, and you're the person who is answering, and you have complete control over the whole thing. So that's really simplifying your life. We should develop a conscious conviction of our ability to know and to understand the way that the mind works. How does your mind work? Are you blaming everything on somebody else? How could it be their choice when it's your mind? You're raising the question, you're answering the question, and then you're proceeding with whatever it is that the answer comes out to be. We should develop a conscious conviction of our ability to know and understand the way that the mind works. We shall not be able to do this while we listen to those who deny us. Those who deny us, or ourselves, or themselves, deny us or themselves the privileges we wish to enjoy. We are the us, we are the themselves, we are whole, perfect, and complete, and who can deny us anything except ourselves? Nobody makes us do or say or eat or think or drink or be anything except this wonderful spacesuit that we are in, and the mind is in control of each and every one of us. Babies are real good at control. They scream. And you don't think that babies have something in their mind which they discuss before they scream? I really want that. She's not paying attention to me. Okay, it's time to scream. And they will scream, and you have to watch that they don't turn blue, because they will scream forever. Because they know what they want. They know what they want to do. We're a baby too. We know what we want. We know what we want to do. And do we do it? You have to say sometime. I have to say sometime, because I can only speak for myself. I know what I do, I know what I don't do. I know what I do when I want to do. And I know what I do when I don't want to do. And I think you know the same. No one ever yet found a living soul in a dead body or learned that affirmations of life and health will become beneficial by denying any power to them. So, what do you deny? And it's good to deny. It's good to deny pain to the point that you go to the doctor, or that you look at what is completely going on in your body, in your system. Deny it as who you truly are. And truly who you are is health, pure health, wholeness. But there's a pain there. But you don't sit, or you don't live day to day, moment by moment. At least I don't. I really, truly try not to. I accept, okay, pain, yes. How deep is it? How bad is it? How long has it been? What might it be? When it gets to a point that you recognize it, that God, from the color purple, God is trying to tell me something, then you take a medication, you call a doctor, whatever it needs to be. All your needs are met because God meets our every need. So these are things to think about and to apply in your life. Don't let stuff continue to hold you back from your highest and good, your highest and best and good. Do not let anything or anyone rain on your parade. Basically it. Do what you choose to enhance your life. That's our call to action. Do what you do to enhance your life. And I'm going to have Laverne come up. She's going to read a call to action, and then we're going to proceed.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
Man's idea of deity involves with his other ideas. After a belief in many gods, he comes to realize there is one mind and one spirit back of all manifestation. One spirit or self-conscious life acting through the medium of one mind or subjective law, producing many manifestations. Multiplicity comes from unity without breaking up the unity of the whole. And that's from the Science of Mind, page 131. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Laverne. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you. As you can see, the trend throughout this lesson this morning is running toward each other, toward putting it all together, toward the acceptance of simply knowing the truth of life. And as Laverne read us that paragraph, man's idea of deity evolves with his other ideas. We have so much going on in our minds, so much coming at us through the television, through the radio, through the just the attitude of somebody in a store, just the attitude of somebody driving down the street. And it's not always negative. It can be positive and yet distracting. My son, who was here for a while, he went back during the past week, and he used to say, as he's driving, I wasn't driving yet then, and he loved architecture, and he'd look over at something and he'd say, "Is that a library or what is that, Mom?" I don't know. I've only lived here 18 years now. Do I look at buildings when I go by? I did when he was driving, but I still didn't know what it was. So just because something is there in your life every day that you pass it, does that mean that you happen to know what it is, what the title is up there on the edge of the building, or what's going on in that building? I can only speak for myself. Maybe I am a focused person, especially on the road. But his ability or inability, see, everything's got two sides to it. Every coin has two sides. His ability to drive, to see over there, and to think about it, to ask about it, is one thing. His ability to drive and be in control of the car at the same time is another thing. Which one do you think I preferred? You got it. Okay. But to me, that's the way life is. And I think of another time when I realized that, maybe the first time, is when my first husband died. And my grandson was born within a number of hours of his death. And someone told me it's the bottom and the top. And that's when I got that thought that when stuff is going on that's extremely joyful, that there's another, depending on how you look at it, because he was very seriously ill, that's the top. And then the baby's born, that's the top. Goes back and forth. Life goes back and forth. And it's how you accept it and how you deal with it. After coming into Science of Mind, I clearly could see the difference between living in a whole attitude of joy and sorrow, wealth and not wealth, health and not health. It all circles around that beginning of and the entrance of one thing into another, and that it's all the same thing going on. And in this paragraph on page 131 again, and this is from The Nature of Being, the whole section. Spirit acting upon soul produces creation. Spirit, soul, and substance intersphere each other, being omnipresent. Creation takes place within spirit and is the result of the contemplation or the self-knowingness of spirit. I'm going to read that again. Spirit acting upon soul. Spirit, in essence, what you think. Acting upon soul is the movement of your thoughts through your experience of life. Produces creation. We do not have in this room a Science of Mind symbol, but it's on the cover of this book, which maybe I can sit up for those of you in the audience. Is it the symbol's not on here? Darn, excuse me. Circle. And in the book or in anything hanging here that is the symbol, it's round, and it's completely a round circle, joined together. At the top of that circle, you will see pictured in a picture, there's a line and a V going through. There's a line. This is mind. This is spirit coming down in the middle. It will have a line, and then it will be a space. This is soul. This is like the washing machine. Spirit comes down, and in the washing machine it goes back and forth and back and forth, and we create and we think and we do all this stuff. That's where we do our stuff. Sometimes we're pretty good at it, sometimes we're pretty not good at it. Then there's another line in this circle, and that is body. And that is spirit, mind, and body. That is what we give out. That's what comes out. And through the pictures, you will see there is a V that is like this. And that is spirit moving upward and out into the universe. And that's what you do with every thought, with every breath. That is why think about what you do, think about what you say, think about what you focus on, what you bring into your life. Because it's all one thing, and it's all you that is creating all of this. And you know that there's a little story about, well, we'll just use a snake that was brought in to your house by you. And you put it in, brought it in, it was cold, it was shivering. You like snakes, so you put it by the fire to warm it. You gave it some food. You gave a little money to go and spend to buy snake stuff. And you laid down, and all of a sudden you woke up, and you said a certain word. You bit me! And you know what the snake said? You knew I was a snake when you brought me in. Now we get the Snickers. You know, we sniggle. But isn't that true?
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that not true? Oh my goodness, yes it is. So man discovers his own abilities, discovers that his affairs are primarily a thing of thought. So man having the volition to do what he thinks, she thinks, we think, they think. Every once in a while it is extreme. Maybe soon after a person takes a job and they have the job for less than a year, they do extraordinarily negative things. One might think to a very large system like a country. That comes out of their mind, but our mind is in control of what we do with the out of control. Never feel that you are out of control unless you choose to be. And having been out of control about whatever it was, that is not a state that I appreciate being in. So some things are extreme, like the example I just set. But what I want us to think about this week and just into the future of our church and our church family, think about what you say, think about what you do, think about what you share. Just think about the wonderful presence and the wonderful beingness of who we are as Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. I've been away, and that was, of course, not not pleasant to be away. But as I return, there are some things that I don't know about. There are things that even happened in my life seriously that I don't remember that happened during the time that I was away. But one thing I am happy about is to see you here this morning. And I bless each and every one of us. I got the financial report from Jerry because we have a board meeting on Friday. We're still moving forward. We've paid off our building. That happened, of course, before I left, but I am just so happy to see all of you here, and I am so happy to see those of you who are online. And I just wanted to share that with you this morning when I read through this, and it says, man discovers, man never creates, he discovers and uses. And that's what we do. We use every single thought that we have for the betterment of ourselves. And here at Miracle Center, we have a choir again. And please bless us and join us. If you don't think you can sing, our choir director has a very good ear, and she is very patient and willing to teach those of us right here that are singers. I call myself a singer because I love to sing, and I think singing is praying twice. So I just wanted to bless you all with that, and I'm going to have Fran come up because I'm going to do treatment, and the other things that I had to say are to be said in the heart. And if you want pages to study on, page 140, fourth paragraph, 484.4, 131, all of this section that is about the nature of being is excellent to read if you have the textbook. So at this time, I would like us to just move into our consciousness, awareness of our heart, our mind, and bringing from our mind down to our heart, from our spirit into that washing machine that spins things around, and then the body aspect of truth. That knowing as we focus on our lives, on ourselves, on our families, on the world, on the consciousness of the United States of America and those who serve us as our leaders, all is God. All is simply God expressing itself. Every issue that is having an appearance of being negative, being fearful, being unsettled, being unknown, so to speak. What's going to happen? What's it going to do? It's just pure focus, pure awareness, letting us know what it is that we might want to investigate to see how we can shift our lives into that blessedness that it is. It already is. I have so many experiences of assistance and prayer and joy and improvement of health, and I know you do too. So I bless us. I bless us and know that we are truly living in the heart and the essence and the truth of God. And with knowing this truth, I know my truth is your truth, and I let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
Amen.
So I turn it over to you, Fran. And
Let's give Reverend June a hand. She surely inspired me and helped me this week.
there's a week after week after week.
Yes.
So
Thank you so much for sharing that, your spirit with us this morning. Do we have any visitors today?
Yes,
Any
we do.
visitors?
We have a lady that
Uh-huh.
called and said, I'm coming.
Uh-huh.
I'm coming to Miracle Center.
And she
And
was in
I'm
Bible
going to
class.
call and I'm going to get this bus. And she called me back and she was on the bus with the bus company. And she's here today. So please stand and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and I'm just happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you. She was here at Bible class this morning. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. So thank you for being here. All right, well, there's an expression, all good things must come to an end. So we have been here for our Sunday morning our personal message this morning. And I give thanks for that. I definitely give thanks. So as we move forward, we bless this week. I bless each one of you. And I know that God can only express through you in peace, love, and joy. Have a great week. And now at this time, let us stand and sing the peace song, because that's what we believe in.